now.
Okay, as I've said before, my father was trained as a ship's pilot. He had a license for that, and he did some remarkable things with ships that you would never. We have a photograph of one, a big one, like I think it was an oil tanker, sitting on the sand up in northern part of the. I think it was Korea. I'm not sure, and he got that off, and it was stuck there like you wouldn't believe, and that's what he did. And he was also a very erudite person too. But he also, naturally, because the time he graduated from the Merchant Marine, he had to take celestial astronomy, navigation. And when I was born in '34, he was down in Havana, and he was looking at different names of stars. And he saw the constellation of Scorpio, and the stinger star in the scorpion's tail is named Shala, and Shala is the Arabic word for stinger. So watch out! And believe me, I think I might have lived up to it, I don't know. But anyhow, that is where my name came from. Shala rhymes with Paula. And there were 3 other names, Shala, all, according to what the editor of the school ship magazine told me, 3 other Shalas from their group. Because they also...
They like the name.
They like the name, right.
What's your middle name?
I have no middle name. None of us did, except my brother. But my sister didn't have one either. And so anyway... now where was my? So
you were talking about.
Oh, and when he was in Havana,
right.
not the time that I was born, but in 1938, he was there again, and he took a picture, and that was when Mutiny on the Bounty was made at Havana, and he took a picture of Clark Gable coming out of I think it might have been a restaurant of some sort, totally unposed. You saw the picture, I think.
I think we'll be able to show it on this movie, yes.
Yeah, and he really was a very nice, casual picture. It was not posed with, or theatrical or anything like that. And that we still have.
It was a very good performance that he had in that movie as well, with Charles Lawton starring as Captain.
I think he had the lead, didn't he?
Yes, he was Mr. Christian, the lead mutineer for Captain.
Yeah, I thought so, right.
Charles Lawton played Captain Bligh, who he mutinied against.
So now the war is over. I've been named. Of course, I was named when I was born, but anyway. And my father then got a posting in Tsingtao, China, as harbor master of Tsingtao.
So he wanted to stay in the Navy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he made a career out of it, really. And he was harbor master of Tsingtao.
You know what his rank was by then?
A lieutenant commander.
Okay.
He ended up being a commander, but he's lieutenant commander then.
Right.
And
well, before we get to Tsingtao, let's try to finish up some of the growing up background. I just want to make sure we cover everything in some kind of chronological narrative, or we don't jump around too much. Do you remember what the ethnic composition of your town was, Morristown, at that time? Were there many minority people living there, either Hispanic or African Americans?
Yes, it was an interesting town because it was basically a Quaker town. There were 7,000 was the population when I was a child. They had what they called a colored section, but it was very nice. They had, unfortunately, a colored grammar school, school number 9, which is still there, but not a school. And
what was considered the colored section of Morristown?
The section was the northern part of Church Street.
Yeah.
Church and Main.
Yeah.
And my grandparents lived right off of Church Street in the southern part.
I think the same existed when I remember in Burlington, New Jersey, there was distinct parts of the town were considered the colored sections of Burlington also. So it's not unusual for that to be the case.
And they really were. Being a Quaker town, I never thought anything about black people or Jewish.
You didn't have any black friends?
Yes.
You did?
In high school, yes. as a matter of fact, the president of our class, senior class, was a black man. But then again, I was only there 2 months.
Right.
And another one, Ruth Graves, her name was. She was salutatorian, I believe, and ended up being a doctor of philosophy or something like that. No, we had some, they were not your typical city or southern black people.
Right.
And of course, we all went to high school. We were all integrated in high school. As a matter of fact, my nephew, when he went to first grade at Morristown, he came home in the first day of first grade, and he said, "Oh, mother," my sister. He said to my sister, "Oh, I have the most beautiful teacher, and oh, she's so beautiful. You just want to look at her all the time. She's so gorgeous." And say, "Oh, that's nice." Oh, he thought she was wonderful. And then my sister went to the PTA meeting, and here the teacher was black. So that tells you right there that if you ignore it and let them all come together,
Right.
you know, but a Quakertown's entirely different too, because they had much more tolerance.
Now, you were in a
as
Quaker town, but you went to Methodist church, correct?
Right.
Did you go all the
But
time?
it was founded by Quakers.
Right. Did you go to,
Under protest, yes, I went all the time, every Sunday.
and did you have to go to Sunday school
Oh,
also?
I went to Sunday school, and then when I got older, I had to go to church too. I was in the choir. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I was in the choir.
So you could say you really received a religious education in Sunday school. That was your main.
Well, as little as I allowed, let's put it that way.
Your parents didn't like make you read the Bible at home or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
no. My mother did it more for the social aspect. She probably would never admit it. But
How
she
about your
did.
father? What religion was
My
he
father
raised?
never went. He never bothered.
How was he raised, do you know?
They didn't have none.
None.
He had a wonderful life though, because his father was in the service, and he went to. They were stationed in San Antonio when he was around 8 or 9, and he went to school there when they had the wooden sidewalks and all that sort of thing. And they all had hitching posts in front of the school, and he rode his pony to school and left it at school along with the other kids. They all had ponies too. So, and he dressed as a cowboy always as a child.
Now, what would you say were your parents' core values? Let's just start with your mother. What did you learn from her, either by example or by her telling you what?
Honesty and hard worker and humor. My mother was very funny. I think I told you once about when the Methodist minister came to the house to make his visit.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother worked. She had a very good job. She was a legal secretary. And she always worked. We had a nanny come in. And her name was Catorial. She weighed about 300 pounds, and she had the biggest wide lap. I loved to sit in her lap. And I loved Catorial. So anyway, the minister came to visit her, like on a weekday. Maybe it was Saturday, I don't know, probably Saturday. And he said, "Martha," he said, "I don't think really it's a good idea to hang your clothes outside on Sunday." Well, of course, she didn't have a dryer in those days, and her ringer washer. And he said, "We've had some complaints." And she said, "Well, Mr. Sayre, I'll tell you what I'll do. You come down and do my wash during the
Wait a
week,
second.
and then I will